Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Deep dive into the Georgia case, the Fani Willis case. There's a couple of things going on in Georgia. Back in March, the judge, McAfee, actually set aside 6 charges. These charges revolved around that phone call between Donald Trump and Brett Raffensperger, talking about finding him 11,000 whatever votes. These are very specific charges, but they weren't specific in the actual crime. And what McAfee has said is they're being set aside with the option to be reinforced or opened in its own case or what have you. They're going to be separated from the rest of the charges in the trial. They gave Fani Willis and the DA's office an opportunity to either appeal it, which would have delayed the whole entire trial, or basically say, okay, we'll revisit that later. But what they need to do, because there was so much evidence surrounding this phone call, don't forget, we have Trump himself, we have Giuliani, we have Meadows, we have Eastman, and there's like 11 other people involved in that whole process. And the charges all had an overabundance of evidence that could have been directed for multiple types of crimes and angles for the crimes to be committed. What the judge said is, you got to narrow it down. It's not about a lack of evidence. It's about there's plenty of evidence. You got to tell the defense what exactly you're going after as the crime, which is kind of funny when you think about it. But she is able to, and the district attorney's office is able to file an entire new suit if they feel like it, to go after these crimes criminally. So the crimes aren't gone. The charges didn't disappear. They were separated because of the overabundance of evidence, which is pretty funny. But the amount of other evidence and other crimes and everything else that is in this trial is still marching forward, which brings us to the next thing for the update in the Georgia trial. When Fani Willis and the situation with Wade was up and was made a big deal out of it, and basically was found that she should not be taken off the case because she didn't do anything wrong, of course, Trump's people couldn't stop there, so they set up for an appeal of that decision. That appeal has been granted, so it gives them 10 days to basically present their case to the appellate court. But it doesn't necessarily mean Judge McAfee stops the progress on the trial. It means they're continuing to go because they know the importance of this going before the elections. And remember, the main purpose of Donald J. Trump and his legal team is to delay every trial they possibly can till after the election. And they have successfully done that in many ways. And that's the problem that we have here. This evidence needs to come out before the election. That's why he's freaking out so bad about the New York trial. That's why he's so paranoid about the J6 trial and the documents trial, because the evidence is very, very damning and he can't lie his way out of it. So it's up to his legal team to suppress and delay every single aspect they can. We need to be aware of that. And if you're looking at it from a perspective of whether or not you want to believe the charges, think of this. If someone was 100% innocent, wouldn't they want to defend themselves? And if someone was hiding anything to this extent that they go to hide every piece of evidence in all of these trials, why doesn't that make you think there's something fishy going on? Why doesn't that reinforce the need to see the actual evidence? That is our problem right now today. And these trials will move forward. And they will move forward full force if we speak at the voter's box, if we speak loud and clear at the election. We make sure the people we put in power are people who are going to stand up for what we believe in as a country and what we need to happen as a democracy. It is no longer about politics anymore. These are criminal trials with hard evidence, mainly brought by people who worked for him or people who worked as part of all these scams. These are the people in the trial. His best people. That's who this is. Need to pay attention. The Georgia case is rolling forward. Yes, there's another delay. There's a delay in the Eileen Cannon case, the documents case down in Florida. I'll get into that on the next video. She has literally screwed up everything and hasn't answered any of the filings, like the SEPA filings, anything like that. And now she's saying the May 23rd, 24th date that she picked way back in the day, that she wanted to actually keep on the books, and no one knew why. Well, many people pretended not to know why. It was the sole purpose of putting an obstacle in the road for all the other cases to work around. So at the very last minute, she could pull that date and kick the can down the road. That's exactly what she did there. So we need to understand, this was the plan from day one. This is why the people were planted in the positions they were planted in since Donald Trump got into office the first time around. These people were put there for this exact reason. This was the entire plan. So, be grateful for the people who work in justice for the right reasons, doing their jobs, discovering this evidence, investigating every single thing they could possibly investigate, and trying to protect our democracy. And we all, as Americans, need to get together and do the same damn thing. It's not about political party anymore, it's about our country. So stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together. We can make it. We can make it through this, but we have to work together. Just saying.